We do have live pictures of what's happening there. Yes, students carrying their luggage and exiting the university. The students went on rampage last night, burning down one of the old administration blocks which currently houses the finance department. Yes, this is right outside the main gate into Kenyatta University. You can see already traffic there as many vehicles try to access the university, probably to transport the students back home. The Senate of that particular university decided to shut down the university and ordered all students to vacate as at 9 a.m. this morning. And yes, students there leaving for home. Guess the holiday has started. We're also getting an update from Nyeri County. Today is Friday, tomorrow is 18th of November, and it is the date set for the burial of the late Governor for Nyeri County, Dr. Wahome Gakuru. He's being laid to rest tomorrow. Let's get an update of what's going on in Nyeri from our reporter, Martin Munene. Martin, good morning. What's happening in Nyeri County ahead of the burial of the late Governor?
A very good morning to you, Fred, from Nyeri County. And like you said, just one day before the country and indeed this county lays to rest the third Nyeri Governor, Dr. Wahome Gakuru, who died on Tuesday last week, to rest. And it has been a long 2 weeks in this county. Residents, of course, mourning the death of the third governor, a man they had a lot of hoping. In fact, a lot of them saying they don't know the way forward because they felt that the vision of this county went down to the grave. But at the same time, it has been a week that we've seen Nyeri get its fourth governor in Dr. Wahome's deputy, and he was sworn in this week on Monday, and yesterday we saw him swear in his cabinet. And so slowly but surely this county is transitioning from the late Dr. Wahome Gakuru, who will be laid to rest tomorrow, and of course to a new government. But residents are still feeling the pinch. In fact, where I'm standing is at the town, at the very center of this town, Nyeri town that is, and it's in this particular place the governor had a very close relationship with the traders here. In fact, if my camera person Emilio can just help you see, it is one of the few places that we have people come and actually sign their condolences and actually write the condolence book in town, actually in the along the streets, because this is one of the places that the governor frequent. In fact, one of the residents here, or one of the traders here, actually telling us the governor was so frequent here that they saw him even thrice a week, because he used to come dine with them, talk with them, and so for them it's a loss that is very, very personal. And of course, preparations for the funeral ongoing at home. The funeral is still tomorrow at his Kiricho home in this county, in Kanuna village, and the ceremony will be held at Kagumo High School so that it can be able to accommodate more people, residents, many saying they will be attending. And where I am standing, in fact, these particular traders have organized themselves, because most of them are transport operators, saying that they will offer free transport to any person who is willing to actually travel. And let us just get a feel of how the residents are taking the news of sending off the governor tomorrow very briefly. So kindly tell us your name, na pia labda utueleze mipango yenu ni ipi, na pia kesho gavana ataweza kuwa akipumzishwa. Maoni yenu ni yapi na mnahisi vipi kwa kifupi sana?
Mimi naitwa Mbao, ni taxi driver. Mipango yetu tumejiandaa kabisa, iko transport, free transport from here. Kesho asubuhi kutoka saa 9 tutakuwa hapa. Tuko na magari 20 ndogo, tuko na basi moja, na wengine watachukua kutoka hapa mpaka pale Kanuna. Sasa tunaomba serikali ipitie hii barabara, isipitie Kiganjo, ilete gavana wetu hapa Kanzo, au amulete Kamukunji kabla ya kwenda kule kwa Imbanda Kiganjo.
Sawa, labda we just tupate tu mwingine. Utueleze unaitwa nani kwa kifupi, na utueleze habari hii umechukua vipi na mmeweza kuendelea vipi, hasa kesho ukizingatia kwamba tutaweza kumzika gavana.
Kwa majina naitwa Samuel Delito, mimi ni taxi driver hapa. Shughuli hii ya mwisho, safari ya mwisho ya mwenda zake gavana wetu, tumejitayarisha na tuko na siari na tumepanga vile watu watabeba kutoka hapa mpaka huko kwake nyumbani. tumpe heshima yake mwisho. Tuko tayari tumejitayarisha. Isipokuwa hii wiki hii imekuwa gumu kwetu, lakini tushapoa na tumeamini kesho tutaenda huko na tutampatia safari ya mwisho.
Okay, and maybe finally, briefly tell us your name and also tell us very briefly how you as a resident is moving on after the death of the third governor of Nyeri, Wahome Gakuru. Very briefly.
We do apologize for that challenge in the audio from Nyeri County. Yes, Martin Monena, our reporter there, trying to sample some of the sentiments and feelings of the residents of Nyeri County a day before they lay to rest their departed governor, Dr. Wahome Gakuru, who passed on last week in a road accident. Let's get one more update of what's happening around the country. Let's head out now to Kisumu County, which is a NASA stronghold. Laura Otieno is there. Very good morning to you, Laura. How are the people of Kisumu feeling? Many of them may not be able to come to Nairobi today for the grand reception for Raila Odinga, but I'm sure they have something to say about it.
Well, a very good morning to you, Fred, back at the Communication Center. And I'm not quite sure I got your question well. There is a lot of noise here at the background because we are at Nairobi Road, which is the main road that leads out of Kisumu all the way to Nairobi. Now, we understand, as we had spoken earlier on to the transport fraternity, they were saying that yesterday night there was a mammoth of people moving from, there was mass movement of people from Kisumu to Nairobi. Buses were fully booked, most especially the ones that were traveling between yesterday evening and yesterday night. We understand that they're saying that there has been a lot of people moving to Nairobi. Now, the governor and his deputy and a host of other local MCAs, we understand, had taken an early morning flight to go to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, of course, all in anticipation of Raila Odinga, who is expected to come back into the country after 10 days of being away. Now, here in Kisumu, which is actually perceived as NASA's stronghold, an area that had about 540,000 voters and a 77% voter turnout on the August 8th general polls, and 4 constituencies being listed among the 25 who did not take part in the election. Now, this area has is where Raila Odinga's word is taken quite seriously. There are some people you were speaking to, I think they'll be here shortly, whom they were telling us that they had to stay back at home because they could not afford the expenses of moving from Kisumu to Nairobi. But of course, they would have loved to go to Nairobi to, of course, wait for Raila Odinga, his grand return, as they call it here. And now, maybe if I could join some of the people here. There is one resident who works here to just tell us what he thinks about the entire thing. And well, he's taking some time, but he tells us that some of his neighbors had gone to Nairobi, but he chose to stay at home. Hebu njoo tuambie, tueleze majina yako na venye unatarajia kulaki baba ukiwa hapa nyumbani.
Mimi ni George Otieno kutoka Kisumu Nyalenda. Sisi watu wa Kisumu tumejitayarisha vyema kupokea baba wetu Raila Amolo Odinga kutoka ngambo, arudi atueleze ni nini alienda kufanya huko na ni mazuri gani amerudi tueleze watu wa Kenya. Hasa sisi watu wa Kisumu tunatarajia baba atuongeleshe tunaelekea wapi. Na Kenya nataka niambie Boynet aache kukatasa wa Kenya, kila Mkenya yote ako na haki ya kuenda mahali popote. Sheria imeruhusu wa Kenya, sasa aache kuzuia Mkenya ati asiende apokee baba yao. Hiyo ndio maoni yangu.
Asante sana. Wanasema mgeni Joe mwenyeji apone. Hebu njoo utueleze, baba anakuja Nairobi, lakini wewe hapa Kisumu umejitayarisha kivipi kumpokea?
Baba anakuja Nairobi, lakini hapa Kisumu tunakaribia hiyo makaribio ya baba akuje Nairobi. Lakini siasa ya Kenya ambayo kama baba anakuja, watu wa siasa ati polisi anakataza hao hawezi kuingia ndani, hiyo bado analea Kenya anaenda nyuma. Sasa hii tuko kwa digital world. Kila kitu, hata mtoto ni digital. Wacha maneno ya anakataza mtu haki yake. Hiyo ndio maombi yako.
Asante. Haya, unataka kuongea, hebu tuambie umejitayarishaje kupokea Raila?
Sisi kama watu wa Kisumu tumekubali kusikiza serikali itupatie nafasi, baba aseme Kenya atasema, na akifika tuambie Kenya atatuambia. Ikiwa ni kitu ya kutufaa tutakubali kuyasikia na tutatimiza venye ametuambia bila kelele, lakini tu polisi watupatie starehe zetu bila kuua watu wetu, na sisi hatutaki vita.
Yes, Fred. Those are some of the sentiments of the people who are anticipating to watch that return by Raila Odinga, of course, on their screens and in the radios because of financial constraints that could not allow them go to Nairobi. And here in town, we have witnessed some sort of police patrol in some areas in town. Not too much police patrol. Even at this time, there is a police vehicle that is just passing at this place. We're seeing some sort of police surveillance across town. All of them, of course, trying to maintain peace. But the people are saying that today their main agenda is to stay glued to their screens and their eyes and their ears rather on radio to hear what Raila Odinga will have to say to them. Fred.
Thank you, Laura. Laura Otieno there with an update from Kisumu, where she says quite a huge number of the residents have already traveled to Nairobi overnight in anticipation of that grand reception for Raila Odinga at the JKIA. But Laura speaking to some of the residents who stayed on in Kisumu, but they say they are digital, so they'll be following keenly whatever is happening. Let me just read one of these tweets here. And you can see live pictures there from one of those roadblocks leading into the JKIA. Police asking all passengers from a bus to disembark for a search to determine what exactly their intention is heading into the airport. If I could read just one tweet here. At Lloyd Onyango says, Matiang'i has two choices. One, allow us to receive Baba in peace and leave JKIA, or engage us and have the airport closed for the rest of the day as we engage police in running battles. But he also goes ahead and apologizes. Apologies to those who will be affected in case Matiang'i picks second choice. Gentlemen, because it appears now, just looking at the kind of action the police have decided to take, that quite a number of people who may not necessarily be NASA supporters, who may be heading into the airport for other activities, even maybe just going to receive their own visitors, not necessarily Raila Odinga, will also be inconvenienced. They will not be allowed to go into the airport because they're checking for boarding passes. Not everyone who goes into the airport has a boarding pass.
Absolutely, Fred, and it's extremely unfortunate. My thinking is that the level of intelligence within the police, the security services, is very low, is extremely low. Because look, I announced that I will bring 1 million people into JKI at the airport. Can you fit even 200,000 people in the public spaces at the airport? You cannot. If you really are someone who is reasoning, you will know that that is impossible. But look at our security services. You announce that and they jump. They get so scared, like, oh my goodness, NASA is bringing 1 million people. What do? Let's start blocking people. Yet you can engage. You can either ignore this, whoever says that they'll bring 1 million people into the airport, or, I think in my opinion, better, engage their leadership. I just find out exactly what do you want to do, and how best can we do it, for as long as what you're doing is lawful. Talk to them behind closed doors, not before cameras. What can we do to ensure that we minimize the inconvenience to other people? What can we do to ensure that we minimize any adverse threats to security and so on and so forth?
Yes.
But look at the kind of reaction which ends up giving a lot of publicity to that kind of announcement. Actually, it ends up receiving a lot more public attention internationally.
And for NASA, it works your way. Well, as a strategist, this is the police have walked right into your track.
Actually, many times they end up helping create drama that grabs public attention, and it does work in politics.
Yes.
For whatever you are doing to get public attention. So on one hand, you want to thank the police, but on the other hand, they are a national police service. They are our police officers. It pains me when I look at the level of the intelligence in that service, from the leadership down to the commanders. It's extremely unfortunate that we have this kind of police officers.
Yes,
because they would have avoided this situation. Sorry for just a little more, when looking at your screens, they seem to be inconveniencing a lot of people,
yes.
Not only those going to the airport, but those using Mombasa Road.
Yes.
Yet this kind of thing would have been avoided.
Yes, we made to understand that the traffic is building up even on Mombasa Road because of this particular roadblock, because now it has created a bottleneck, and vehicles moving into that slipway that goes into the airport is now clogged. Remember, there's also a second screening even after this roadblock, just going into the airport. People will end up missing their flights, that's for sure. Nelson Harvey, is there a better way the police would have handled this and made it much easier? According to that tweet, allow the crowd to go in, probably try as much as possible to allow them, to help them to leave the airport as soon as possible so they can move away and continue with other activities.
Well, I have reason to believe that Inspector General of Police Boynet is a little bit academically challenged. But there is a book, there's an easy read that I may recommend to him. It's called Emotional Intelligence. Now, look at the fiasco that is now created at the airport. It manifests the total lack of intelligence on how to handle something. No wonder we are classified as the worst police force on earth. Look at it. The individuals who said they are going to welcome Baba at the airport said that they have allocated the entire day. In fact, they were to be there from, some of them were there as early as yesterday. Yeah, some of them were at the airport at 5. Now, look at the number of people who are going to be inconvenienced because of the failure by the police to apply sense in the manner in which to uphold order. It must be understood, it's the responsibility of the police to keep order, and we will not interfere with that responsibility. But if, as the situation manifests right now, in an attempt to keep order, which in actual fact is to prevent an otherwise lawful gathering by NASA supporters of welcoming their leader, and by extension, therefore, interfering with the entire operations of the airport. Now, whosoever misses this flight today, whosoever is denied an opportunity to go and welcome his loved one who's arriving, should put this blame on the police, not on NASA. It's squarely on the police, because this is the situation where we always find ourselves in. Look, remember, like the case of Laikipia, we are told that the police shot 300 cows because terrorists were hiding in the midst of the cows. Now, what are they doing here? Which terrorists have gone to the airport? There are no terrorists there. Look at the other side. There are many areas that require police attention. Over the night, there was a mayhem at Kenyatta University. Where were the police? Where was their intelligence? You understand? This is an issue that raises a lot of concern as to what exactly is the function of the police. We have now been put in a situation whereby we are in a police state where the police really do not understand what they are supposed to do. And therein lies the problem. Okay.
Let's now take a break. When we come back, we'll look at other matters even surrounding this. This is not the very first time that leaders have been welcomed at the airport. How different is it this time? Citizen Extra continues.